Hey guys, it's Nguyen. Welcome back to my inking tutorial. I just came back from Comic-Con last week. It was so busy. I barely got to walk around, but it was a great time. People loved the art prints that I brought, so that was very successful. It's my first year in Artist Alley, and it was very well received. So I'm doing this demonstration of a Bruce Lee drawing that I did. I like to use a mix of straight lines and curves. I'm always experimenting on where those straight lines would be. Maybe they would be in the deltoids, but mostly I try to keep the straight lines where the bony areas are, so like the elbows, the collarbones, the jaw, the hands. I keep my shadows very simple. I try not to do too much feathering, and when I do, I keep the lines real short. I usually try to turn the opacity down on the background a little bit, which makes the lines a little bit lighter. It just helps push the depth a little bit and makes this character stand out a bit more. But that's pretty much how I ink. And next, let's look at Jim Lee. More recently it has gotten more angular. The lines are more crisp. The inking is more dry. Scott Williams inks his stuff. And the interior details are super tight. And he would hatch one direction to indicate the core shadow, and he would hatch in a different direction to indicate reflected light or bounce light. So next we have Adam Hughes. He has a very graphic style. If you just look at the silhouette alone, it's very dynamic and aesthetically pleasing. He hardly does any feathering. If he does, it's very, very thin and hard to see unless you zoom all the way in. He focuses on elegant curves, and but the outline is a very fixed width outline normally. I want to show you 10 artists who have beautiful, beautiful ink work. First off, we have Marcos Mateo Mestre. He's famous for the Frame Inked book, which is a wonderful book on composition. Definitely check it out. After he did that book, he published 2 comics called Trail of Steel. Those are awesome examples applying what he teaches in the Frame Ink book. Every year I go to Comic-Con, I have to stop by Art Adams' table. And whenever I need to figure out how to draw details or texture, I'm always looking at his stuff. He just knows how to curve everything in the right direction, and his sense of foreshortening is spectacular. And he's still going to Comic-Con, which is really awesome. I'm honored to be vending and tabling at the same venue as some of my heroes. A few years ago, me and my wife went to Paris, and I was walking around a comic book shop, and a book by Matthew Lafray caught my eye. He's both a comic book illustrator and a painter. What I love about his work is it looks loose, but at the same time it's very tight. It's a great balance. I can't believe that Akira is 20 years old. Check out the manga. It's about 1,200 pages long. It's a little odd because it is so detailed. There's a bunch of cityscape and vehicles and smoke explosions. Yet the only credit on the book is from Katsuhiro Otomo. Next is Kim Joong-gi. He is so popular. I met him at Comic-Con in a discussion panel, and he said he hasn't drawn with a pencil for many years. I guess he just is drawn to the immediacy of the ink medium and how forceful it is in making you finish something or making you plan a little bit more carefully before you make each mark. Mobius is next. I had a chance to meet him, but I didn't. He doesn't use a lot of black, but there's a lot of details. His work is kind of abstract sometimes. It's very concept art friendly. So a lot of concept artists love his work. Bernie Wrightson is amazing. He worked on the Frankenstein illustrated book. I got a chance to meet him at Comic-Con also. I was in line and there were all these guys who were in their late 50s and I was there in my 30s, and these guys asked me, "Hey, are you waiting in line for your dad?" And I said, "Nope, I'm here for me." I had him sign a book, so that's how I got a chance to meet him. Super nice guy, not afraid to use black ink. His hatching is amazing. I also met Juanjo Gornido at Comic-Con, and I got a little sketch from him also. But Black Sad is his comic, and it's still one of my favorites. He has a background in animation, he worked at Disney, but I love his work because there's such great acting and movement and gesture and expressions. And he does so much research for the location, the costumes, and he paints in watercolor. He watercolored his whole comic. And next we have Takehiko Inoue. Takehiko Inoue is known for dry brush. He's famous for Slam Dunk and his graphic novel Vagabond, which is about Musashi. I love samurai stuff, so I always go back and look at his comics. Lastly on my list is a Chinese female artist, Zhao Dao. She paints fantasy-themed stories and illustrations, and I love the looseness of it. Also, she's good at the dry brush, which creates some nice soft edges that we don't normally do with, quills, hatching, and feathering and all that stuff. So I love the variety of all these artists. You should check them out. Anyway, this is the end of the episode. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. Check out my Patreon page. And until next time, happy inking. Bye.